Welcome back. My name is Israel Wright. I'm a former Green Beret, and I'm very excited to be watching gameplay footage from one of my favorite games, Helldivers 2. I'm a super nerd for Super Earth. Let's watch. So if you don't know about Helldivers 2, just think you're in the third act of your favorite sci-fi action movie every single mission. The game is really cinematic. The way that they put everything together, the way the action plays out, your weapons, how the enemies come at you. I love the cooperation level. You're on a team of 4. That would be a fire team in terms of a typical platoon layout. You got 2 fire teams, a squad, and then 3 squads in a platoon. So stratagems, right? You got your call in, you got close air support, which is amazing. Close air support is definitely something that I have training in. It's not something that I ever use per se. Whenever we would go out on a mission, we would definitely have some sort of air asset available to us, depending on what we were doing. So they were always up there. Even though you couldn't hear or see them, they got our backs. Danger close is, I think, anything within 600 meters of the point of impact. You got to call danger close when you're communicating with that air asset coming in to drop something. Danger close for Helldivers is about 5 feet, maybe even less. You really got to know the capabilities of your equipment. You have a certain pattern of impact when you call in a strategy where it's an airstrike or a rail cannon strike or whatever. So if you know how those things are going to impact based on where you throw that stratagem ball, you can get in really super close and you can really protect yourself and your teammates. I love all the different stratagems. You can see how the developers tried to base them off of some real weapons. You got the automatic grenade launcher. I think it's a Mark 19. I have a little bit of experience with that when I was in Iraq. Machine gun, which it sounds like a SAW, but it looks like a PMK or a 240 maybe, 240 Bravo.
Join the Helldivers.
If I ever had the privilege of being a Helldiver and I was assigned to go on a mission, first I would make peace with God, because the average life expectancy for a Helldiver is about 2 minutes. I would salute my democracy officer and I would yell freedom all the way down in my drop pod, because this game is pure chaos. I mean, the casualties in the intergalactic war are in the hundreds of millions at this point. Helldivers don't tend to live that long, but I mean, they're super patriotic. It's all about that totalitarian fascist super Earth state. Everything's about war, right? I love the cooperation aspect of this. When you're in the more difficult levels, you gotta know your equipment, and if you can find a really good group of guys that know the capabilities of their equipment, when you're getting surrounded by either bugs or bots, you can really do a good job of creating a perimeter. You can coordinate the loadouts that you have in terms of your primary and your stratagems with the other teammates, kind of fill in the gaps in terms of capabilities. You gotta have capabilities for crowd control, for the little minions, when it comes to bugs, especially for the heavies, any heavily armored. And then when the Bile Titans come in, you gotta have a solution for that. So there's different levels that you have to try to prepare for. I love the passives. They got the armor passives. You got little boosts depending on which kind of armor set that you're working with. I love the medic passives. You get +2 stims, and they last a little bit longer. And stims are like the all-in-one solution to pretty much any injury. They can put limbs back in place, and they make you feel more democratic. It's awesome. Gotta watch out for those 120 and 380 barrages, man. You gotta throw that thing. That's where knowing the impact pattern for whatever stratagem you're using comes in super handy, because if you throw it in the right place, you know where it's going to impact, and you can actually keep moving and move on with your mission, even though you got artillery dropping all around you. It's a good thing this is happening in a fictional world, because the militaries of regular Earth are not prepared for any kind of bug or bot invasion. We would all die. The power of the bugs is like the power of any kind of swarm-like creatures, whether it's the Tyranids or the Zerg or whatever, is they're just massive numbers. And apparently they have spores that can get in between worlds and land on any planet and start creating little bugs. Maybe regions that have geographic isolation, mountains or bodies of water, might have a little bit more time to prepare, or that isolation might work to their advantage. I love you got different kinds of weapons, obviously. They got regular assault rifles, shotguns, you got electronic warfare like plasma arc throwers. I like the pummeler, the SMG pummeler, because it's got great stagger for bugs, especially. When it comes to bots, I like the plas rifle. It's got that explosive damage. You can kind of get the weak points in those bots. Alternate really doesn't matter a whole much. The MAC-10 kind of mini SMG, that would be my secondary choice. When it comes to stratagems, I'm a big fan of the Eagle Strike. I know exactly where that's gonna hit, and I know how to use it to its full advantage. And also the Orbital Barrage, great for crowd control. If there's a smaller group and we don't have many solutions for heavy, I like the Rail Strike, because that'll take out a Bile Titan, or an Impaler, or a Charger. The game lends itself to real-life tactics. You've got the turrets that you can plant down. You can create a perimeter, right? If you don't have security, you don't have anything. I would try to keep my guys moving. You got to keep moving to that next objective. So whenever you can, lay down fire as you egress behind you with the barrages or with Eagle Strikes or whatever, napalm. That tends to work pretty well for covering an area. Keeping everything moving is a good strategy. You just got to get that thing done and then get to extract and hold down extract if you can. You don't necessarily always need to be on extract because you know they're going to come to you no matter what. So if you can keep a perimeter kind of in the general area while staying close enough for the Pelican to come in and make the drop, that's probably your solution.
Pelican 1 beginning ascent. Liberty has seen you through.
Anything where you're working in a group, if you can communicate well and you can cover your buddies back as you're moving, or if they're trying to get an objective done, if you can just lay down a perimeter defense, I feel like you're gonna win the day. Calling out distance, direction, disposition, all that stuff is still valid, even in a video game. It works in real life and it works in a fake combat situation. Bile Titan, call it out, man. You got to call it out. Situational awareness, that's always a thing, no matter where you're at. Real military or super Earth military. The capes are absolutely essential to battlefield supremacy in any situation, but I actually think the Marines, I think they have capes in their dress uniform. Capes are the most democratic thing you can wear on the battlefield. It shows that you actually love democracy and freedom. So if you don't wear a cape, I guess you just hate liberty. See, I love it. I love it. I love the action. If you are an action movie fan, this game is for you. It can get so high octane and so just insane on the battlefield with the explosions and you're being crept up on by bugs and the bots are after you. So right now it looks like they're trying to defend extract. So if you ever have to defend an area, things that I would consider would be obviously the disposition of your men, weapon, and equipment. Like how many guys do you got? What are your weapons? How much ammo do you have? You got to know the status of all that stuff so you can know how long you can hold out if you have to, or if you need to find a way out of there. Get inside that extract vehicle. Try to get a hug in there first, if you can get a hug, or maybe a handshake, maybe a fist bump. Always a good idea before you get on the Pelican. I love all the different mission sets that you have in this game. In real life, it depends on what the ultimate goal of the overall campaign is. I know in Iraq it was to bring stability, bring security, bring legitimacy to the government at the time, try to help create security while they built up their government and their forces. So within that, there are specific missions, like there are in Helldivers too, where if there's an oil field you got to protect. No, there are individual missions that kind of add to the overall goal. I think only in the most insane of Medal of Honor stories would there be anything close to this kind of chaos. Yeah, being able to keep a cool head in real life and in this game, because that's not a strong point of mine. I tend to get a little panicky and button mashy, even though I'm an elite Helldiver warrior. Telling you, man, you gotta use those stems. Stems will make you invincible for a very short period of time, and that might be the time that makes all the difference. Watch out for those chargers, man. You get them on those angles. Those chargers, they got a good turning radius, but you can make an end run around them. See, this is when it gets hectic like this is a real great time. You got to stick together and you got to keep moving. If you get separated from the group, then all of a sudden you're fighting your own little private war, and you got to find a solution on your own. But if you can stick together, you can cover each other, and you can coordinate your stratagems, coordinate your fire, keep moving toward the objective together. Oh, it's a good feeling. Teamwork is great. Teamwork feels good. Yeah, look at that kill multiplier, 67, 69. I think the highest kill multiplier I ever got was about 68, 69. Yeah, you man that turret, baby. You man that gunner position. Bots are awesome, man. It's like it's all the best parts of, or maybe the worst parts of Terminator. You're going up against these guys. I did not know you could do that with the grenades on the underbelly. of a factory walker. That, I'm gonna take that home with me. I'm gonna use that. That's awesome. The great environments in this game. Working in different environments, you train for different environments. When I was in, we did some desert training out at Fort Irwin in California, and that was to get trained up for Iraq. I know that Rangers, they got jungle phase, they got swamp phase, mountain phase. So depending on the units you're in, and depending on whatever mission sets you might be exposed to, you might have to do some training for different environments. Of course, Helldivers, they can take out anything. Oh my God! Look at those bots! Look at this! 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bile Titans. That's a real mission right there. Oh my God! 8, 9, 10. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Yeah! You jump in. You die with honor. Oh, that's awesome. Contemplating life on the battle cruiser. My battle cruiser's all tricked out, man. I got everything. I got all the war bonds, I got all the stratagems, I got all the capes and the armor. I got it all, man. I've been playing this game for a long time. Look at that beautiful family. Oh, everything's so great. Oh my God, no! Sweet liberty!
Sweet liberty!
Well, of course we gotta go to war. I mean, propaganda is a real thing. It's very powerful. It's basic human psychology. Every country in the world has done it. It works. I think the satire in this game is really great. It's kind of in the backdrop. It's not really the point of the game, but it's there if you want to notice it, and it's important. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. I'm Israel Wright. Join me on twitch.tv/myhappyself if you want to hang out a little bit more. Check out the Pop Culture Field Manual YouTube as well as My Happy Self YouTube. Like and subscribe. We love you, team. Take care of yourselves.